I'm back. The EDMX itself had to be repaired. It looked like, and plus the table itself, the TBL vendor active flag is as an int instead of a bit. That's a no-no. You should be using bit and bool sort of go together. So I changed the table structure, right? Um, let's try to do it the way it's supposed to be done. I'll just do an update, right? So when I do an update, it should be refreshing all tables. It should be refreshing all views, all stored procedures. I'm not going to do anything else but do an update and see what happens. I do an update, I do a finish. It should see a difference between that table vendor that existed before and the table vendor after. And I'm curious to see if that pulled through. So uh, let's take a look. Let's go to, I'm going to close the EDMX to save all the code generated items. That active flag was certainly a bit. It should be, I'm sorry, it was an int. It should be a bit. Let's go to the EDMX, go into the TT part of it. I'm looking for vendor. If let me close this, I don't trust it. Let me close it and open it. And I see that it is a bool. That's a good sign. That bool is a good sign, meaning it's a boolean. A boolean is a bit, a nullable bit. Alright, so let's close this, clear my output, and I'll do another build. Let's see where we're at. Now I'm getting different errors. Yeah, I'm getting different errors now. Okay, that's a good thing. um, Problem with mapping a fragment email address ID and table must be mapped. Okay, so you've got under group address. Okay, let's fix that. Group address again, EDMX. I think this is vol group address. Almost positive groups are on the vol side. Group address. This guy. Let's see. Group addresses. Now the way if you want to like sort of breadcrumb, pick the field that's joining it and just follow the table. So over here, group address. Let's see what it looks like. Go to store procedure mapping, and I'm not seeing a miss. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's go back here and say, I don't care about the output, I care about the error. It says primary address ID in table group, TBL group address. TBL group address. Okay, and the weird thing about this one is it's directly associated with TBL vol address and group. Okay, so let's say if I do update from database, am I seeing that as a new entity that I have to deal with? I don't see it. Nope. So, all right, here's the deal. If you only have two columns and they're just the keys, it's not going to try to pull in um, as a new entity. But you have it's telling me I have more than two columns. TBL group address. This guy has, yeah, it's an associate between group and address, but also has primary and active flag. All right, so here's what you got to do with this monster. Let's see first if I can take this vol address and remove this relation. I didn't mean to double click it, sorry. I'm going to select it and then delete that relationship. Okay. Then I should be able to go in and say map details. I'm sorry, go into update database. And I should see now that table pop up. And I should see it pop up with two new columns. And it should be its own table. Let us see if that happened. Group address. I see it there. And I'm following the breadcrumbs all the way down to, Jesus, there it is. And it now is a table. See what I'm saying? Before it didn't have its own table because it was just an intersect. Now they have to have a table because it's an associate entity. All right, so that table's going to be there. I don't know if anything's mapped to it or not. Let's see if I do a build what happens. Okay. This is a bit more promising. So I got rid of that error. It wasn't there, so you weren't able to map. So now you should be able to map that group address table. All right, now looks like we've got a little bit of BOL type stuff. Vend email select one takes one argument. These are usually easy to fix, right? So vend email select. Let's see what we did here. Vend email select. I'm going to blank that out. I'm going to put my cursor there, and it's saying, I read this. What do I see here? I have one, two things it's looking for. Before, when I got here, there was one thing there. So if it's looking for two things and you're giving it one, it will compile. So it's looking for vend email select. Let's see what it's saying. It's looking for email ID. Cool. It's looking for active flag. Okay, well, you didn't tell me whether you're looking for active flag or not, but let's assume that you are looking for active emails. We're gonna drop a one in there. And I had the case wrong, so that's why it didn't work. What's the problem here? Unknown method sp email select int of. Okay, let's try this again. Email. Okay, I got it. Email ID. True. True is a 1 and 0. It's funky. In the database side, it ends up being ones and zeros. In our side, booleans are trues or false. Okay, so that fixed that. SP event rating select takes one argument. Let's see what you did with this guy. This looks like it takes, again, two arguments. Rating ID and GUID for the event ID. Let's see, give null and null, which are two arguments, maybe not be two good arguments. The null is list event ratings. The idea behind list event ratings, you probably do want to pass in the GUID for a specific rating, and if you pass in a GUID for a specific rating, you only get one back. For right now, I'm just going to say null and null, which means this will always return all, right? Let's go to, again, SP event rating select. Why am I getting the red there? Because it's looking for a specific signature, and it's looking for rating ID and event ID. So you're passing in rating ID, and you're not passing in an event ID. I'm going to pass in a null just to make this compile. Alright, now what else you got here? I'm seeing a lot of these go away as the compile happens because they were caused by the DLL and BLL. I see a successful build, excuse me. Yep, 8 succeeded, 0 failed. Alright, it's just tedious like that. The way you handle it is you look for ones that are at the bottom, at the either EDMX or your table screwed up, or your signatures don't match. If you did have an error, let's go back to that last one where I fixed this guy. The null wasn't there, right? Let's do a build and I'll show you how to fix and find where they're at. I compile. Boom! I get a method that says no overloaded method. SP event select takes one argument. So you're giving it one, and there's no one that takes one argument, right? So even if I was in a different place, if I was, let's say, down here somewhere, and I saw this message, I don't have to search around for it. It tells me the file, but I don't have to search around for it. Double click it. If I double click it, it will stick me right on the error line. Okay? Now you notice there's other things in this frame that are red other than the error line. These are errors because that's an error. Once you fix this, these fall right in line. So let's go back to what I did to fix it. I added the second parameter, which is null. The real fix is you should probably be passing in the right parameters into the list of ratings, but we'll go into that. Now, by rule of thumb, I'm going to do a build. I'm going to make sure I build locally and that it works. I have no errors. If I created anything, I did create a domain model. What I want to do is make sure that when I'm done, it's added. SP vendor, I believe I added. That little plus sign means when I check it in, it should be an add. Alright, I'm going to right click the whole project. I'm going to say commit. I'm going to peek at all the files that were messed around with and make sure that everything's there. That looks good to me. Yep. Okay. Fixed. Broken. Build. I'm going to do a commit and push. I'm going to email the class. And and that's sent, and that is pushed. You guys are ready to pull down again. I'm gonna close my documents and wait for the next email of failures. No, just kidding. I'll post this video and the other video, the walkthrough. It's just nice to know. You know what? If I was handed this in a language that I didn't understand and in a way that it was, new to me, it's sort of like, where do you begin? And you got to have a method to your madness. You have to know, like, if you have an error that's a low level error that could definitely spider into other errors, that sort of thing. All right, I'll post both these videos on YouTube and links to them on Sakai. See you tomorrow.